Hi, my name is Patrick Murphy. I'm here to give a brief presentation, testimonial video in honor of Brian Tracy and his product lines. I met Brian Tracy back in the year 2000. It was at an all-day seminar run by Tony Robbins. In fact, I still have the brochure. They had several big names at the all-day event. It was a motivational speakers event. General Schwarzkopf was there, Donald Trump, Julie London, Larry King, and on the list was Brian Tracy. Before that day, I never met Brian Tracy, never knew who he was, but I was anxious to see his presentation. In the presentation, he talked about goals. Goals was something that's always been important to me. Since I was a young teenager, I started making goals, and they've helped me focus on achieving a lot in life. But his presentation really kind of brought it home and made me even more excited about writing goals. And it kind of brought home an inner feeling I had about how important goals are to your life, because you never hear about goals growing up from your teachers or from most people, and it was a very good presentation. What he said in the presentation was, write down, in a nutshell, write down 10 goals, put on a piece of paper, put the piece of paper away for a year, and come back and look at that piece of paper, and you'll be amazed that all those goals, a big majority of them will be accomplished. And I was a little skeptical, but I actually did it. I wrote down those goals. And but I was so impressed with his presentation that I went down to their kiosk and I bought a bunch of his CD programs. And since then, I've added books to my collection. Here's some of my products. I have one of the CD programs, Power Clarity. I have a Crunch Point book, Turbo Coach, all Brian Tracy bestsellers. One of my favorites is the Goals book. In the Goals book, I've got right at the front, I've noted some pages of importance. That 10 goal list presentation he mentioned in his presentation is right there on page 68. I've also highlighted a lot of pertinent information, so when I go back to this book, I know exactly what to focus on. This is an interesting, small little book, but it's got a lot of punch to it. 21 great ways to stop procrastinating. Everybody procrastinates. It's called Eat That Frog. If you're in sales, which I am, and you don't like cold calling, most salespeople don't, eat the frog. Do 10 cold calls right away, get it out of the way, and you consume the frog, you move on to your other items. That eliminates procrastinating. Here's some of my other programs. I have basically in my car, I have all the CD programs, probably about 12 full 6 to sleeve CD programs, a couple big programs like the Brian Tracy's Success Mastery Academy. It's got 16 CDs in there. It's basically a 2-day full seminar put onto CDs. It's very enlightening. What I do is when I listen to CDs in the car, I'll listen to this program, and I won't go to another CD until I've done this program. And I use notes, and I try to, when I listen to the whole program, I try to get a few things out of it before I'm done. And it helps you stay on track. One other program that I've done is a 12-week program, Advanced Selling Techniques. Basically, it was a big investment, and what it encompassed was this book, CDs, and I had a coach who I would call every week for 12 weeks to help me stay on track in my sales success. The reason I did that, I had moved from Maryland to Florida, and I wanted to streamline my positive results I had after 2 years in sales up in Maryland and get it down really quick, and it was very beneficial. Very expensive program, but it was worth every penny and more. To get back to the goals, when I moved to Florida, we were unpacking our stuff, and I found this sheet here after we unpacked, and what I did was take the 10 goals and I broke it down into household goods, financial goals, physical and spiritual, career goals, and toys and trips. So that's over 60 goals. And as you can see, I marked off a couple before I put the sheet away. And as a result, I didn't think much more about it. But when I got to Florida, 2 years later, I went through this sheet, these 5 sheets, and I've achieved almost every one of these goals. It was unbelievable. I grabbed my wife and said, "Lynn, look at all this stuff." you believe this? And it was like magic from his presentation. I also recently have reached out to Brian Tracy personally because I'm in the process of another career change. I sent him a letter and told him I just asked for some advice because I've had all his products and it's just a scary situation. I'm 50 and I'm trying to make another career change, and he sent me back another copy of Goals. It's autographed with some personal advice, and I treasure this book, and I'm looking forward to another journey with Brian Tracy as my friend and mentor to help me along. Thank you, Brian Tracy.